Hi, and welcome to another Pun 2 tutorial. In this tutorial, we're going to combine what we learned from the first two. So we learned how to track player position, and then when we did the chat room, we learned how to send RPC calls. So what I thought would be fun to do is let's do a little capture the flag game where we track the player position and we do some RPC calls. I actually made this whole demo already, and I recorded on my laptop upstairs, but didn't realize it was using the microphone input on my laptop as well as my snowball mic, and so it has two audios overlapping each other, and I'm echoing the entire time, and it's really annoying. So I'm just going to show you what I made rather than remaking it all again, and hopefully it helps you. But first, before we get started, if you really enjoy these tutorials and you'd like to help me out a bunch, be sure to check out my Patreon page. It's patreon.com/PhilipHurlitz. And on that Patreon page, you can see all the different tutorials I've left. And you can support me or financially, or if you just want to get on there, I'll be hosting, like, anytime I use references and files, I'll be putting them up there. And it's also a great way for me to put up polls and find out the next type of tutorials you'd like to see and whatnot, and a great way to connect. And also, please feel free to hop into my Discord and live chat about anything. All right, so let's get started. So what I did, and at the beginning of this tutorial, I already showed you how I built this scene. I just took the scene we already had with our player tracking, and I just duplicated some things, changed some colors. So I now have two different ground floors. Let's switch to our scene. Oh, I'm in 2D mode. Switch out of that. All right, so we have two different areas. We have an area for the red team and an area for the blue team. And what's nice is we should already have most of the stuff we need for this because we have our Playmaker Photon proxy where we have our pun connection. So our pun connection being set up is just fine. Also, I didn't need to really, need to make much changes to this because we were already spawning our players. But the only thing I needed to do now is decide which team the players are going to be on when they were created. So let's see how I did that. So the first thing I did was, if you're the one creating the room, we're just going to assume that you're going to be on the red team. And so one thing we had to do is when game objects are instantiated, even if you're making copies of the same game object, they're all still going to have the same name. It'll just be like, what are we instantiating here? We're instantiating tutorial player. And so it'll show up in the inspector when it instantiates as tutorial player clone. It won't be tutorial player clone 1. It won't be clone 2, clone 3. If multiple ones come in, they'll all be called the same name. So one of the things we're going to be doing during capture the flag is whenever you capture the flag, you're going to become the parent of it. And everybody's computer needs to know that, but they also need to know which game object is the parent. And so we need to have all of our player game objects to have different names. So when you create the room, when the first player creates the room and gets a game object, we're instantiating that game object like we've done before, and we're going to store it, which we did in the first tutorial, as my player. And so in the next state, what I did is I'm taking my player and I'm just simply calling it set name red1. Now, I had never tried this before, and so I'm like, how's this going to work? Because I know it's red1 because I created the room and I'm here. But when other players join the room, are they also going to know that it's named red1? And we'll see what happens here. So when you join the room, okay, we had this all set up before. Okay, we're instantiating the tutorial player as my player. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to do an odd-even test. And I picked up this action in the ecosystem. So Playmaker, add-ons, ecosystem browser. And inside the ecosystem, which is running slow, I searched odd-even, I think. And then I got this int odd-even test. And so what it's doing is when you join the room, it's finding out how many players. And now in tutorial 1, we were already getting the player counts. This was very easy. If you've been following along with me from the first tutorial, you already have that player count variable. So I just took the player count variable. If it's odd, they're going to be on the red team, which means you're player 3. Okay, if it's odd, okay, the first odd number after player 1 is going to be player 3. Okay, then another player comes in, they're 4. So player 1 was odd. Player 2 would be the first even number. They go to blue. The next odd numbers 3, they'll be on red. And so that's how I distributed the teams. And so if you're on the red team, I needed to build a string. And so I started, just realized this isn't going to work past a certain number of players. This is only going to work for 2 players. Because when I set the red team, it's setting red team as it's getting red, and then it's getting, oh no, it does work because it gets the player count. I was thinking when I made this. So it's getting 2 elements of a string. It's red team, you're going to be red, and then it's going to get the player count, and you're going to say 3. Now, I wanted it to be red 1, red 2, red 3, red 4 if you had 4 people on a team. But I got lazy, and I'm like, you know what? I don't need it to be set up that way. I just need everybody to have a different name. So if you're red 3, that doesn't mean you're the 3rd player on red. It just means that you're on red and you were the 3rd player to enter the game. And so that at least makes everybody's game object have a different name. So red player count, build it as game object name. And it's going to set the name of my player, which we had from whenever we instantiated the player. It's setting that name as that red whatever. And then it's going to broadcast an event, rename. And it's going to broadcast to others because I already know what my name is. So anybody else that's already in the game is going to learn what my name is. And then I also went ahead and set the player's custom property. So the local player, I let them know what team they're on too. So I don't think I ever needed to use that, but I went ahead and set that as you're on the red team. So I created a custom property as red. So the custom property key was team, the type is a string, and the property value I set was red. So if we ever need to get actors, which are players that are on, that have that variable, we could do that, but I didn't need to for this. So blue was set up the same way, just for if they were even numbers. All right, and I did need to make one change on the player. So here's our tutorial player. Open up that prefab. So what we had on this player was it checks and see if it's mine. If it is, then you get to control it. Okay, we added the tag player, and then we get to move it. But then we needed to rename player. So one thing I wanted to know, and I guess I didn't finish this, is I wanted to know if I had my start state. I wasn't sure about this. If a game instance, if there's already game objects in the scene when I join, do their FSMs start for me when I enter the room? And the answer is yes. So this is kind of incomplete because I just have the set name to dummy. But what I would want this to do on start is run rename. But I don't have to worry about that because it's going to broadcast. It's going to broadcast the rename event to all game objects. Let's just see what happens where I'm at. Because I think what I need to do is I need to add one more piece here to the start to find its name so that I know what its name is. But right now, it's just something's going to rename itself to dummy. All right, so what we're going to do real quick is I am going to build this scene, and you'll see what's happening. All right, so we've successfully built it. Before we get into that, I want to show you one more thing that I needed. So we know what teams the players are on, but how do they pick up the flag and score? So let's look at the blue platform over here. So my blue platform has this giant trigger on it. And I have an FSM with an empty state. The only thing I have for this blue platform is a bool for flag. If the flag's there, the bool is true. And when the flag gets taken, the bool is false. And that's going to be important for scoring. So if I go to red flag, which is, if I go to blue flag, which is on the platform, we have 2 different FSMs on here. So let's take a look at the first FSM. All right, so on my blue flag, which, by the way, how's my blue flag set up? My blue flag is just a pole and then a flag which my flag has no colliders on it, and my pole has a collider, but it's just a trigger. Okay, it's not actually going to cause any collisions. It's going to cause trigger events. All right, so the first thing I want to do when the game starts is make sure that this game object doesn't have any parents. Okay, the main pole that's holding everything doesn't have any parents. Also, I want its position to be where it is now. So I just looked in the inspector, saw what the position is, and made the position and rotation, put those in so that it knows every time the flag's returned, it goes back how it should. All right, so then we want a trigger event. So a player runs into the flag. Who done it? So that's the first thing we have to do is we get the owner of the game object. Oh, we did need to know the team. And then we see what team. We're going to store the team that the owner of that game object is on. Because if you remember right, if we go back to Playmaker Photon Proxy, Pun Connection, when we put them on a team, we also set them to a team. So we put their game object on a team, but we also tell the player that they're on a team. Go back to blue flag. So we're going to see what team the owner of that game object is on. Okay, so we're on the blue flag. So if they're on the blue team, we are not doing anything because it's their flag. So it's staying there. They're not picking it up. So we just go back to the first one and wait for another trigger. If they're on the red team, we're going to have a capture state. So the first thing we do is we tell the blue platform the flag is gone by setting the flag variable to false. Okay, uncheck that. And now we're going to set the parent of the flag, which is the owner. Okay, the flag owns this FSM. We're going to set the parent to who? Okay, the person who done it, the game object who done it. We stored the collider in the trigger event. We stored their parent is now the game object that ran into it. And then we're going to tell all the other players. We're going to broadcast an RPC event. The event that we're sending is blue parent. And that is in the parent listener. So in this parent listener, we have a state one that's empty, but then we have our set parent where it's going to get the string data that we send, and it's going to find the game object that we stored as a string, and it's going to store that, and it's going to set the parent to that game object. So here on the flag, the game object that triggered it, we get its name. Actually, I didn't even get its name. I just stored it. I converted it. I went to, on the string data, I just went to convert because I stored the game object and it was able to convert it to a string automatically for me, so I didn't have to put an action in there. All right, so I just have the name of the game object and it's sending that name to this parent listener into this so that every other player in the network learns that, that game object is now the parent. And so then we just wait for another trigger event. And we're listening for, because I didn't put in like if the player gets shot and stuff like that. This is just taking the flag from one platform to another. So if the player gets to the red platform, we're going to now start going to the capture state. So we're going to go to the capture state. Trigger event, red platform, send event capture. Why are we doing another trigger event? I don't think I should be. Wait, what's going on there? Oh, okay. I was looking at the wrong arrow. Okay, here we go. So it's going here. All right, so it's going here to this state first. And so it's going to check whenever the red team takes the blue flag to the red platform, okay, red platform trigger, it's going to see, is the red flag here? Because you can't score if your flag's not in your base. And if it's true, then you're going to score. If it's not true, you're going to wait, and then you're going to go back and wait for you to trigger again. And so once you do find that, yes, my flag is where it should be, I'm going to score. Then it's going to broadcast an event that red scores. So where does that event go? Well, it could go everywhere. It is going everywhere. So I think that's on my canvas. Yes. So on my canvas, so we have all of our pun stuff still up here, but I have red score and I have blue score. So on my red score, I have an FSM. The opening state just sets everything to 0. The text to 0 and the variable of the int to 0. But when the red score events is found, it's going to increment the red score, and then it's going to set the red score text to 0. And then if they get up to a certain amount, I actually created a variable. So if I decide to change how many points they needed to win, I could. So I set the win count to 5, so they would win. I don't have red win do anything, but this should still show us that everything's working. So I'm sorry you didn't get to watch me step by step, but hopefully me explaining each of those FSMs will now show you how to create your own similar thing. Whether it be a capture the flag game or just some other game like where you're collecting Easter eggs, I don't know. But let's actually play it and see what happens. All right, so it doesn't look like I have 2 players, but they're just on top of each other. So I can see that my last state for this window was red team. So I know that I'm red team over here. So I'm just going to make that easy by walking onto the red side. And this guy was on blue team. So let's just put him there on the blue side because I didn't change their colors, which you'd want to do something in a real game to indicate they're on teams. All right. So now my red guy, I'm just going to go I'm coming over here. You don't see me. And I got your flag. I got your flag. Yes, there I got your flag. I missed it originally. I got the flag. Yay! I'm over here and I got the flag. All right. And I bring it to the platform. Boom! I score. See, red score 1. And you saw me moving the whole time over here, and the score is updated for both. All right. Let's see if I can score again. Running the other side. Coming over here. I got the flag. All right. Ooh, I'm going to go hide over here for a minute. No one can see me. All right, but my blue guy. Oh, snap. My blue guy. It thinks blue guy has the flag. How did that happen? Especially since, oh man, I didn't even notice that you didn't see I wasn't carrying the flag here. It's still counting the score, but it's not saying the correct guy has the flag. Let's see what happens if I run for the flag. He's still parented to it. Let's see what happens if he grabs the red, though, just for fun. I can't grab red flag. Does it think I'm on the other team? We have blue 2. That's this guy. This guy's blue 2. And the other guy's name is Dummy. My blue 2 is named Player. I think that might be my problem. Because if we go to our flag, it's only triggering if the collide tag is a player. So rather than previously what I've done when I do pun 2 things is I don't put a player tag on all the players. I just put a player tag on my player. But let's just change that. So we're going to need to rebuild. So I'm going to close this. And really, I think all of our problems will be solved by going into you and just make you player. All right. So let's build and run this and see what happens. All right. So we've built successfully. This guy should be on the red team. Let's move him over there. Keep you on the blue team. All right. So we have blue 2. Who's a player, and we have the dummy who's a player. And again, I kind of let you all down by not making them all name the same, but maybe we'll take a look at that in a minute. So now I have red guy. Let's see if we can see his flag now. Just shoving the other dude out of the way. Missed the flag. Missed the flag. You have to actually... What? Okay, that's weird. It's working on this side. Why wouldn't it work on this side? Let's see. Let's see if this guy has the same problem. You've grabbed it. Nothing's happening. And over here, nothing happened either. Why can't you pick up the flag? Okay, I have a player tag. And let's see. Red flag, Playmaker. Its owner is nobody. It's waiting for a trigger with a collide player. As I was scrolling through this, and like, I bet I know what happened, because I shouldn't be able to run into the flag. Did you all see that? You see how I can't walk through it? I should be able to walk through it because it should be a trigger. And you can see it's not. Not quite sure how that happened, but I don't have my red flag as a trigger. Blue flag as a trigger. All right, third time's a charm. Let's build and run this again. All right, we're back. This guy should be red team. Oh, nobody's on blue team yet. There we go. Now we got our blue team. All right, so it's probably silly for me to even go try to get the blue flag because that was already working. But it's not on this side. But this guy is the blue team and is able to grab the red flag. But can't score because now the game, I don't have any way for them to drop their flags. So in this situation, no one can win. But why is the why is this guy not able to? Why is the flag visible over here, but not for him? It doesn't make any sense to me. Let's see if I can figure it out. All right, so one thing I figured out I could do to try to test this is I was opening this one first, so I'm going to open this one second so the teams switch. So let's see what happens when red team tries grabbing blue over here. We should see the same thing where the flag doesn't stay with them. So what happened? So the blue flag who done it? First off, who triggered it? Blue 2 did. So who owns blue 2? We're getting the property. So what team are they on? They are on red. So if they are red team, we want to tell the platform the flag is gone. We want to set the parent of blue flag to who? But why do I drop it is the question. Why do I drop it? All right, one error I found was that our game objects are getting the same name. Both the players are, because the rename broadcasted event that's happening when a player is joining, it's getting sent to everybody. So really this one, I mean, we really never need, because nobody else is online but this player. But what's happening is when blue joins, it's not just broadcasting to the other players. It is broadcasting to everyone. So we got to come up with another solution. I don't know why it's broadcasting to everyone, because it should be just others. So I don't understand what's going on there. I must not understand that for some reason. Maybe I should be choosing others buffered. I'd have to do more research on this, but let's see if I can just find a quick workaround. Okay, so I have a pretty simple idea on how to kind of sort this out. All right, let's go here. And we are going to create a room. join room. We're going to create a room. And we're going to post some labels. We're going to pun instantiate this player and store it as a game object. And then we're going to set the name of the game object to red1. But I'm not going to do that anymore. We're just going to delete that. We're not going to broadcast that event anymore. And we'll go ahead and keep the set player custom property, but I also want to set player. I don't want to do that either. Let's do nickname. Pun set nickname. So I'm going to put this first, and this is going to set the local player nickname to red1. Maybe you already see what I'm going to do with this. Okay, I'm just going to copy that action. And we're going to come over here, and we're going to build a string for game object name, but we're not going to set the name of the game object. We're not going to broadcast the event. We're going to paste actions before, and we're going to set the name of the player, their nickname, to what I had as game object name here. So it's getting, we know they're on the red team, we're getting the number of players, and we're setting that as their name. So we'll do the same thing for blue team. We're going to build a string, but we're not going to set the name of the game object. We're not going to broadcast an event. We're just going to paste action before, set the nickname as game object name. Make sure that one's right. Yes. Go ahead and save that. So now what we're going to do is we are going to go there. We're going to go to our project folder, find our prefab of our player. Let's go back here to our rename player FSM. And I don't think we need this anymore. So let's delete this. No, go to the events and get rid of that. I don't think we need that either. And so we're just going to, on start, pun get nickname, get player properties. Okay, so it's going to get the, no, that's going to get the local player properties. We don't want that. We want get owner. Get owner's properties. So we're going to get the owner of this game object. And we want to get that player's nickname. And yeah, let's have a success event. Now we'll bring do it back. And just to be safe, we're going to do a next frame event because I don't trust those pun ones to finish themselves. And let's do a new state. I just held control and dragged off that. And then we're going to set name of the game object to the nickname. So every time a new game object is instantiated, this FSM of rename player is going to load, and what it's going to do is it's going to find the owner of that game object, which is their movable character. It's going to find that player's the owner of it, and it's going to find that player's nickname and use that nickname and assign it to that character, and that's going to clear some things up. So let's build and run and see how it goes. All right, fingers crossed. We have the build. Let's go play it in the editor too. Go ahead and move to the red team because I'm on the red team. There's the blue team. All right, red team. Can we get this stinking flag now? No. Why? Why can't we get the flag? Blue team also can't get the flag. What is going on? I still haven't figured it out yet. But one thing I did figure out is whenever we set the name of the these guys down here, so not the creator, but anyone who's joined into the room, their name's going to be blank to themselves, because what happens is we're instantiating the object first, and then we're not setting its name for a couple frames. To fix that, it's just as simple as we can go into our tutorial player and just make it wait a second. I don't think anyone will notice because no one can capture a flag in a second. So I'm just going to go in here into the rename player, and we're just going to do a wait state. I mean, really, even 1 second is is much longer than we need, but just to be safe. Add transition finished, and just make this finished. Make this the wait state. Put this up here, and then make this our start state. All right, so that should be enough to make sure everybody gets named properly. I still can't figure out, I'm still having the same issue where it's only working in the editor when they pick up the flag. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I'm going to pause you again. My only thought here is on broadcasting this event, making sure it goes to everybody. So it's on blue flag, and then go to red flag. Make sure everybody gets it instead of choosing others, and maybe that'll solve the problem. Let's build and run and find out. All right, fingers crossed. This was supposed to be such a simple project. I thought I was so smart, but humbling experience, not so smart. All right, this guy's the red team. Zoom on over here. Let's get that blue flag. I got the blue flag. Boom. Scored. 1 for red team, both sides. Okay, so it's blue team's turn to try. Ah, oh, dag nabbit. Oh! We need to send an event again whenever they're no longer the parent. That's important. Otherwise, the editor is only going to know that you're not the parent. But just real quick, let's check and see if I can pick up the red flag. Which I can, but can I see it over here? Great. So we need to send an event that you drop the flag. So how do we do that? I was about to pause it, but you want to see that, right? So let's go into red flag. When blue scores, this is setting the parent, but we can't do that. We need to send an RPC, which is going to be kind of weird doing it at the start. It feels weird anyways. So really, we can just copy this RPC broadcast event, put it at the start. Now, the only thing that this wouldn't be good for is if your game allows people to join mid-game. That if mid-game someone's holding the flag, when you enter the game, the flag's going to go back home, or it's going to just get dropped in the middle of the field. So that wouldn't be good. So keep that in mind. But for this test case, this should work. So we want the string data we send to be nothing, and that's sending it to sending the event red parent. So on parent listener, it's going to set the parent. It's going to find. Ooh, let's not do that. Let's make a new state, and let's call this clear parent. Red no parent. How about that? So add global transition, red no parent. I'm just going to copy set parent, paste action of the owner to nothing. Okay, so let's go do the same thing. First off, we got to go back to this FSM, and we're going to broadcast a different event. We're going to send the event red no parent. It doesn't need any string data. So let's do the same thing on blue flag. I'm going to come here. I'm going to find the event. I'm going to copy it. Come over here. Delete that. Paste actions before. And that's not what we wanted. Come back. Let's try again. Copy. Come over here. Paste actions before. Broadcast the event. We haven't made it yet. So let's go here. add state, set parent, copy, paste actions, set it to nobody, event, blue no parent, enter, global, right click, global transition, blue no parent, clear parent. And back to FSM, send the event, global event, blue no parent. That might be our final thing. We might be done. Let's build and run and see what happens. All right, we've got it built. We're playing in the editor now. All right, so here's my red team guy. Let's go get that blue flag. I've got it. There it is. Haha, rub your nose in it. Come over here. It's returned. Seems to have been returned on both sides. We have 2 points for some reason, though. Not sure why we got 2 points. That's odd. All right, blue's going to go for the red flag. I have no idea why it would be 2 points. Somehow is that triggering twice? What's your problem? Why won't you drop this flag? Did you do it over here? Nope, you're just being a goofball over there too. Red flag is being held by blue 2, I imagine. Yes. Red flag. You're looking for blue 2. Well, you know blue 2 triggered you. Oh, wait, no. You're waiting. Okay, you're waiting for me. Yeah, you're waiting for blue 2 to trigger again. Because apparently you checked once and the bool wasn't set correctly. So is the flag here? And it should be. Is it in there at the beginning? Flag here? No, that's my mistake. All right, flag should be there at the beginning. What about blue flag? Yeah, flag should be here. And then when it's captured, we set the flag to not there. But we need to set it back to being there when it's back at the beginning. So let's copy that. Come over here, paste actions before, set it for there. Let's go to red flag, blue capture, copy this at the beginning, paste actions before, set it back to being there. Saving, let's build and run again. Fun tip, make sure you close the previous build before you build and run again. Otherwise it doesn't get very happy for you. All right, so now let's play in the editor. I'm already going. I'm gonna go steal your flag before you join. Look at that. I'm gonna go steal it. Boom, I got the flag. I'm running. One thing I could have done is put a little debug text here that a flag is false. Oh, geez, that's the toughest thing when you're dealing with networking, is that it's simple enough when you have a because we're not tracking the flag. I tried that originally, and if you remember, our players, we have a photon view, photon transform views on them, so we don't have to keep track of where they are. Photon's just doing it for us automatically. Thank you, Photon Engine. Could have done the same thing to the flag, and I tried that, but it was really weird. It didn't like it. The flag didn't stay with the player, so we're just going to make it a parent. But we've told it that, hey, great, it's not the parent anymore. but we're not sending an event to reposition its dang self. But the rest of our logic should still work. So like if I come over here on blue, it sees the flag. I'm just going to ignore it and come grab red. And we should see the same problem, right? I'm going to come up here. Now the editor puts it back, but this guy is now confused. So they're mirror images of each other because they don't know that the flag got put back. So that's simple enough to solve. And at least our scores are accurate. Okay, so red flag. But it should be putting itself back because we set that as our start state. Because we broadcast an event. We're broadcasting that event to that red no longer has a parent. I wonder if we're doing it too fast. And it's not updating the position correctly. Because here, it knows where its home position is. Because we've set it. The problem might be that it's doing this before, but it should be doing world space. That shouldn't matter. But I'm wondering if clearing the parent and trying to set the position at the same time is making it mad. So let's just do a little mid state here where we're going to clear the parent first. Paste action. All right, so we're going to call this one clear parent. And then let's go to the blue flag and add state, finished, add transition, finished, and take this. Actually, you can grab this. I saw Broken do this in his tutorial today. I didn't know you could do that. Thank you, Broken. The tutorial wasn't to show that. It was something else, but I saw him drag from one state to another. Don't got to cut, don't got to copy. Just boom, it's in there now. So yeah, so it's broadcasting the scores, and then it's going to clear the parent, and then it's going to set its position. And this doesn't have to be an event because it does need to be an event. Because here's what's happening. Let's just undo all that because it's unnecessary. And let's go to the red flag. See, just switch back to the blue flag. There we go. Now we're in the red flag. Undo, 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 undo. So it's broadcasting because what's happening is blue player grabs red flag. Only the red flag for the blue player knows what's happening. All the other blue players, all the other red players, all they know is that that first blue player is holding the flag. But that though on their ends, the flag FSM doesn't know what's going on. So even though we're broadcasting this event and they all learn they don't have a parent anymore, we're not broadcasting an event to reset their positions. And so we need to do that. One thing that we could do is, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to copy this position, copy this rotation, copy, and I'm going to go to the parent listener, and on the no parent state, I'm going to paste it. Now, in a real capture the flag game, if you have the thing that's clearing the parent, usually you want the flag to stay where it is. You don't want it to reposition to the other field. But I'm not building a full-blown capture the flag game here. I just want you to see how you could kind of set it up. So in a real capture the flag game, you wouldn't probably want to do it in the same state. You probably want to have a separate state with a separate transition. But for this case, we can do it this way. All right, so now I'm going to go to the blue flag. and go to the parent listener, clearing the parent, and we can tell it to reset to its original positions there, and it brings those variables open automatically. And so now let's build and run. All right, so it's built and ran. Let's run it in the editor as well. All right, I'm on the red team. Taking the blue flag over here, drop it in, everything goes. While I was building, I was thinking, did I copy the right positions? Oh, shoot. I didn't. What happened was I copied the wrong positions over. Dang it! All right, maybe you all caught it when I did that. But I copied the red flag starting positions to the blue flag. So I need to come back to the blue flag, get its starting position in rotation. Notice it's 1522, copy. And if I go to the parent listener, I have it in there as negative 1822. Now the 00s are right, but for the rotation. But dagnabbit. Go back here. Start position, rotation, Control C, copy, parent listener, paste actions. That's not right. Blue flag. Position. Oh, because it's already got the variables stored wrong. So let's go back here. Let's delete. The first time I pasted them, it pasted the variables from red. So let's come back over here now. Go here to the state, position, rotation, copy. Oops, Playmaker, parent listener, paste actions. Now it's creating the variables and putting their values. We're good. All right, if you don't believe me, let's build and run again. All right, we've built and ran. Play it in the editor. On the red team, I'm going to go ahead and go capture that. I'm going to wait. There he goes. He spawned. Capture it. Come over here. Scored a point. That goes where it's supposed to go. Come over here. Take blue. What did I break? Oh, I'm the blue team. Oh, I've had plenty of coffee today. I'm just not very smart sometimes. What just happened? Red flag. Me colliding, I think, with the other player confused it. So I'm going to get this guy out of the way. There. Okay, we got the red flag. Running over. And scoring. The score's not right. Okay, but I'm not going to take this tutorial any further. You all can do better math than me. That's fine. You should be able to understand how this works now. All right, let's see if this jumps up to 4, because I feel like I'm getting 2 points. Oh, now it's just 1. I don't know what happened. I swear it jumped for some reason. Blue scores, sending the event blue scores to the canvas, blue score. I don't know what it started at. Did I have it start at 1 for some reason? Was it not starting at 0? I don't know, but here you go. All right, so this is how you can set up a multiplayer capture the flag game. So in my very first Pun 2 tutorial, we learned how to set up the character. I don't think we finished setting everything up until my second one, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I did it all in one, to where it synced the player over the network. But then we learned how to do a chat room, which we learned about RPC calls. And here, in doing Capture the Flag, we did a lot of RPC calls too. And also, I wanted to do that because we should have won somewhere. Yeah, we won. Blue wins. Yay! So it won't give me any more score now because the game's over. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I'm sorry you didn't get to see every single little piece, but I did take you into every single FSMs and explain what we saw on each one. If you have any suggestions about what to do next, let me know. Oh, no, it would still let me do it because even though it says it's just going to say I win every time, but it's still going to add because it's a global transition. It's going to keep jumping in there every time I score. One other thing I thought about doing to combine this, and maybe I still will, is maybe my next video I'll show you how we can, using this exact same scene, have the players chat with each other. And you can probably assume how we do that. But I think this is enough for this tutorial. So until next time, be sure to check out my Patreon, Discord, thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you'd like to see a tutorial on next. Until next time, I'm Philip. Bye-bye.